Gamojoba comrades, welcome to Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, a city where history and architecture converge to tell a tale of a bygone era, where Italian balconies, Persian fortresses and Byzantine-era churches meet Soviet-era prospects. In this video, we'll delve into the intriguing world of Soviet architecture in Tbilisi, exploring some notable examples that stand as a silent witness in a transformative era. Some have been completely abandoned, left to rot and decay, whilst others have been given a new lease of life. Dystopic ugly eyesores? Or modern relics that tell the tale of the 20th century? Are they symbols of occupation and oppression? Or a historic monument in need of renovation? You decide. Our first stop takes us to the Sabatalo district, home of the former Ministry of Transportation in the Georgian SSR. Constructed in the mid-70s, this behemoth was the brainchild of engineer Timur Tikhlava. Rumour has it that he drew inspiration from the architectural preferences of none other than Leonid Brezhnev himself, reflecting the influence of Soviet leadership on design aesthetics. However, there were later accusations by Czech architect Karel Prager that his plans were stolen and used for this idea, with an unused design in Prague. The Ministry of Transportation building is now the headquarters of the Bank of Georgia, a prime example of Soviet modernism. Its massive scale and utilitarian design were intended to symbolize the efficiency and strength of the transportation sector at that time. It was supposed to show how a building can have a large space while keeping the area of the ground open to people and nature below, similar to how a large tree spreads out its branches. A bonus brutalist building glares at you across the road with the really catchy and short name Former Managing Computer Center of the United Board of the Energy System of Transcaucasia. As you can see, it is wrapped with Soviet stone carvings and mosaics. Our next stop takes us to the edge of the Vake district. Still in use today, the Tbilisi State University campus and library, after 18 years of construction from 1971, is still technically an unfinished campus, with several partly finished and partly demolished buildings. Designed by a collective of architects called the
სქ-პროექტი.
Believe it or not, this actually won a competition. Most of the area is a cacophony of concrete and cement. The project aimed to construct a botanical garden, biological and meteorological stations, a library, indoor and outdoor halls, and a full stadium. On top of this, there should be various scientific institutions, laboratories, and administrative buildings. You can even see evidence of where there were telescopes on the rooftop nearby. One of the most impressive feats of the campus area was a ropeway across the River Vera to another Soviet settlement in Bagebi. The ropeway has been used on and off in its lifetime, but you can ride it yourself today and admire the values and the decay in architecture of the so-called residential zone from a bird's-eye view. The distance the gondola travels is 320 meters. It can carry 40 people and in 1 hour in a single direction can carry 600 passengers, and the journey time is around 4 minutes. 4 terrifying minutes in the Tbilisi wind, may I add. It was closed when I went with no explanation why. Here the Red Bridge, or the Maglivi Bridge, was built in 1966 and takes you across the river if the ropeway is a bit too scary for you. Currently there is a new bridge being built alongside it to ease traffic congestion. In Upper Sabatalo, there is a unique piece of Soviet innovation that stands tall, the Tbilisi Sky Bridge. Erected in the 1980s, the Tbilisi Sky Bridge was designed by architect Georgy Chachava, the same visionary behind the Ministry for the Highway building. This architectural marvel served a dual purpose, providing both pedestrian access from the road below to the ridge above, but also the inhabitants of the Brezhnevka-style concrete towers could move freely without a steep climb or taking the car. They are a distinctive visual element connecting the two sides of Tbilisi Street. The Tbilisi Sky Bridge is a remarkable example of Soviet urban planning. They added a futuristic touch to the cityscape, embodying the forward-thinking mindset of its time. The buildings have arched balconies and windows, with the lowest tower block being clad in wood. However, due to the collapse of the Soviet Union, this remains another unfinished project. There were plans to have local sulfuric spring water, of which the city has a plenty, sent up to the flats so the residents could enjoy the spa lifestyle at home after working for the benefit of the motherland. How incredible would that be? In the middle you can see an area which is used for local commerce. The elevators are also relics of a bygone era and honestly feel pretty unsafe. They're noisy and jittery and have gaps near the doors. If you fancy trying them yourself, they'll cost you 20 tetris per journey, which is about 8 cents. They provide a great view across the city and snowy mountains in the distance. But this place is in need of a real overhaul. As you can see, there is even a hole in the walkway, 17 stories in the air. Would you feel safe walking here? Now let's explore the iconic Laguna Vera, near the banks of the Matkvari River. Constructed in the 1970s, this recreational complex was designed by architect Otar Kandelashvili. It reflects the Soviet vision for leisure spaces. Situated near Vera Park, Laguna Vera was envisaged as a multifunctional area, featuring a large outdoor swimming pool, sports facilities, and expansive green areas. Sadly, it's now plonked on a very big, grey and busy roundabout called Heroes Square. The structure contains many colourful Soviet-era mosaics. The architect's design for Laguna Vera emphasises the integration of nature with recreational amenities, creating a harmonious space in Tbilisi for its residents to unwind and engage in various activities. The complex was not only a popular destination for swimming enthusiasts, but also served as a vibrant social hub during the Soviet era. Laguna Vera holds a special place in the hearts of many Tbilisi residents today. It was more than just a swimming pool. It was a place where families gathered, friends met, and memories were made. From 2024, the plan is to renovate this now decrepit site. Footballer cum mayor Kacha Kaladze said the area will not only be preserved but integrated into renovated architecture, where the facility is not only a cultural heritage monument, it creates kind of an image of the capital. I understand the recreation for politically engaged people over the project, but the fact is that this renovation on this territory is critically important because it is a central part of Tbilisi, and currently no one likes looking at it. Kaladze added in his rejection on social media claims that it was going to be a block of flats. What would you like to see in its place? Personally, a renovated leisure facility sounds great. On the crest of the ridge, peering over concentric rows of high-rises in the district of the Komi Massif, sits an empty sand-coloured museum, tall concrete statues and an abandoned water reservoir from the late 80s. It features a concrete relief that depicts how people were buried during the time of the Colchis kingdoms, which existed in Georgia around 12,000 to 3,000 years ago. Being the home of archaeology, you can see why they chose this. The ancient artefacts have been moved to the National Museum that sits on Rustaveli Avenue. Now empty, it watches over a bustling city, slowly deteriorating in time. Next to the museum stands a creepy-looking statue of Georgian patron saint, Saint Nino. And behind is the Tri-Gora reservoir that used to provide Tbilisi's growing population with drinking water. The space is huge and empty, with ghosts of the past echoing in the superfluous, idle dome. I should probably mention that it also sits in the middle of a cemetery. Pretty spooky. As we reflect on some of Tbilisi's Soviet architectural wonders, the Nutsobitsa Sky Bridge stands out as not only connecting two sides of the street, but also bridging past and present. It's a reminder that even in the midst of functional design, the Soviets left behind structures that continue to shape the urban experience. However, the use of uninspiring grey concrete blocks, lack of upkeep, and the stigma that poor communal facilities and brutalist fabrications are often seen as a sign of the nation's poverty and lack of development is an issue. In any case, they are certainly unique. Should we revisit these structures that we've looked at today and repair them, or pull them down and start again? What do you think? There's probably 100 to 1,000 more brutalist erections I could show you across Tbilisi. Would you like to see more videos on this? Leave your thoughts and comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.